Hi, I'm Mel. Welcome to another episode of ACFS. In this episode, we are going to tell two short stories by our very own guest, Zaza. Welcome to ACFS, Zaza. So, let's start with your first story. So, the first story I heard is about a school camp.
Yes.
Okay, so where exactly is this school about? I mean, which part of Singapore?
If my memory does not fail me, I think it should be around northeast area of Singapore.
Northeast of Singapore. Wow, okay. All right, so how did the story goes?
It was my first few camps. It was a in-school camp as mentioned earlier. So I think it was like the first or second night. I'm not sure. I'm not recalling well, but at that point of time, I was doing. It was during the lights out? Yeah.
Oh, lights out. That means what? Toilet duty.
Yes, toilet duty.
Because you're new, right? So toilet duty is actually quite pretty much
standard lah.
Standard. So it's the before the dinner or the toilet duty after when they need to wash up, brush teeth, change, and go to sleep.
Yeah, the later one,
part.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then.
Yeah, so standard was trying to rush them to hurry up and change into their pajamas, brush their teeth, whatnot before lights out, right? So crowds of students like outside the toilet, inside the toilet. Yeah, I was toggling between two toilets lah. So the situation is that it's like a performance hall.
Okay.
Where the girls are sleeping that night. So the toilet is behind the stage.
Oh, okay. So it's actually so the toilet is mostly for those, if let's say you're performing, then they go toilet behind the stage. Okay. Wow, that toilet is never nice.
Yeah, the toilet always.
It doesn't matter which school, which part of Singapore.
Yeah,
backstage toilet is never nice.
There's always stories about it, right?
Correct.
Yeah. But in that particular case, I was like asking the kids to hurry up in the two toilets lah. So there's two cubicles. There's two toilets. Okay.
So they are using the male toilet and the female toilet.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, the female toilet has 6 cubicles. The male toilet has 2 cubicles lah.
Okay.
Then toggling was a bit
in between.
Yeah, I was a bit out of it. But anyways, like I was knocking on the 6 doors and 2 doors, whatnot. Then I was also asking the kids to be accountable for their own friends, like so they don't take too long, ask them to come out and whatnot, right?
Correct.
So in that particular instance, I was back from the 6 cubicle toilet to the 2 cubicle toilet.
So from the female toilet to the male toilet.
Yes, I was going across. Yeah.
Okay.
Then I was asking the girls like whether the 2 girls inside the cubicles were out yet.
Yeah.
And they said they already has been switching for the one on the left, but on the right the girl has not come out lah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the girl has not come out. So we were like,
is it painted?
Not sure, but at that point of time, I was knocking on the door because they said that the girl did not come out, right? So I was asking, prompting for a response, knocking on the door several times, but it was silent. Then one, like you mentioned, one of the students was like, maybe she faint. Then I was like, shit. Yeah. So at that point of time, because like that was mentioned, right? Silent agreement. I went to peek. Yeah. I mean, even I'm short, but I tried to peek lah, but I couldn't really see much. But it was like mostly empty. Yeah, unless she was standing close to the door, it cannot be empty, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but yeah, because like I had like the first check, and I was gonna like find another stool or something to get a better look lah. Then the sentry came in to check in on us lah. So instead of me, she went to look because she was slightly taller than me. But even so, she didn't really get a full view of it. So we took a stool, she climbed in, it was empty.
So it's confirmed empty.
Confirmed empty.
But why you guys climb though when you can actually see from underneath, right?
I mean, at that point of time,
panicking,
Yeah.
Panicking kick in, right?
Yeah, and we couldn't really show that we were panicking. We were just like, okay, check.
Yeah. Oh,
just look at each other. Yeah, but we couldn't like really show. So all we did was that we tried to pry the door open lah, like using.
So is the door locked?
Yeah, it's like usually like when you slam the door, it'll be like slightly tilt.
Yeah, a little bit. Especially those if let's say the lock a little bit loose.
Yeah,
right.
Then you can see because if it's slammed and it closed, the color won't change. Right, it was like slightly changed.
Just like a bit.
Yeah, but in this case, it was a full
red.
Yeah,
that means a full lock.
Yeah, full occupied sign. Like yeah. But yeah, we didn't want to talk about it. We're like, okay, hurry up. So using like a toothbrush case, right? I just pried it open and managed to open, and really there's no personal articles inside.
But is there anyone actually saw the girl went in?
Yeah, it was full toilet.
So that means both toilet there is queue of girls going in to change.
Yeah.
And that happened in front of so many girls.
Yes.
OMG.
Yeah, that's why we were like freaking out. Like, how is this possible? Like, everyone saw girls going in and out. So how is this possible that it's empty? You know?
Right.
Yeah. So after unlocking it, then we were like, okay, next girl in. We didn't want to like talk about it now because like, okay, we didn't. If we overreact,
then the girls will not want to use that toilet.
They will freak out as well. So we like, okay,
correct.
act nonchalant and next. Afterwards, then we were the ones, because we were the last ones there. We need to like
push the girls to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Lights up.
So me and the sentry were like, kau tutup lampu lah. You switch off the light lah. You switch off. We were a bit freaked
switching off the light of the hall, is it at the stage area?
No, we were scared about switching off the light of the toilet and that area itself because of what happened. We didn't want to talk there. Like, I mean, in case whatever it was listening to us, you know, we were like,
But usually toilet, if let's say there is students sleeping, the toilet shouldn't be off, right? The light.
Is it? But yeah, we were scared.
Or else how the girls go toilet in the middle of the night?
I think we were freaking out at the point of time, perhaps. Yeah. Because like even later, after we were trying to not like let it show outside, the sentry was like, sleep here lah. Tonight you sleep here lah. Like I was like, yeah, but I need to go for the later lah. Then you come out afterwards lah. Sleep here lah. We were like that level of freaking out. We were like, okay, how do we rationalize it? Because like
because you can't debunk it, right?
Yeah.
Things happen in front of students.
Correct. So we were like a bit. I would say shaken. It's just that we didn't want to let it show, but we were shaken. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sorry to the sentry, but I went to sleep in the debrief room lah.
So in the end, you never sleep with the sentry.
Yeah, I'm sorry sentry, but yeah, I fell asleep. So it was I'm sorry that it happened, but yeah, until now I cannot wrap my head around it. Yeah,
like
about
how did it happen?
Yeah, it's not about like scary or anything. It's more of like how, right? Yeah.
Shapeshifter?
Wallahu alam. I do not know. I mean, maybe let's think about it as the door closed on its own or something.
But fully locked by itself?
Right.
There is no scientifically can debunk the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's scary. And the school actually happens to be at the Northeast, which hardly there is any story that school at the Northeast have such a interesting own toilet door locking. Yeah. So if let's say, right, any of you somehow or rather know that, this toilet in this particular school somewhere in the northeast of Singapore, do comment below, okay? And then maybe you know a little bit of the history behind the backstage toilet. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the first story from Zaza. So how about your second story?
Okay, my second story happened when I was in, I think, Sec 2, the Sec 2 camp.
Yeah. Wow, your Sec 2 camp. Back to the past.
Back to the past. years ago. So, even now we do night walks, right? Yeah.
Confident walk. No, not really.
Really?
Yeah, ever since the pandemic, we don't really do confident walk anymore.
I see. But yeah, at that point of time, we still did it lah. I mean, that was like over
years
10
ago,
years ago, yeah. So
decades ago.
Yeah, decades ago, yes.
I feel old.
But yeah, at that point of time lah, night walk, right? It was like in the forest. They were lining it up with.
So this one, let's just backtrack a bit. So this one, it's some in the campsite or school?
It was in a campsite, yes.
Campsite. So which camp? Which part of Singapore? Don't say the camp name. Which part of Singapore?
My geography is a bit bad, but I think it's west.
Yeah, I think. West. Okay, far west.
My geography is bad. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's in the west.
If it is west, I think, yeah, pretty much. Okay, there is a lot of campsite there, is it? Okay, good. All right, so it's far west. Okay. Pretty much there, yeah, okay. So, okay, what happened in that camp?
Yeah, so just to set the story, right? So it was in the forest, and they lined it up with those, what's it called again?
Oh, the light stick.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So typical night walk. We were like hands on the shoulders, walk in the dark, and I was the one at the front. Yeah. I mean, standard night walk. But the story begins when we were going back, like from the, like, where, so night walk, they debrief us, then we were going back to our campsite.
Your night walk, that means all are blindfolded, is it?
Yeah, we were
that means it's not confident walk lah. Confident walk, that means they walk 2 by 2. This one is one line.
Yeah, one line.
Okay. So it's a kind of night activity lah.
Correct.
It's not confident walk lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's one line, hands over the shoulders. First person, no blindfold.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So the story doesn't start there, but it's more of like when we were coming back from the night walk
activity.
Yeah. So I unfortunately sprained my ankle. It was, I don't know whether it was raining, because years ago my memory is a bit foggy, but yeah, so I was like, I'm not sure whether it was raining or whether it's just night and it's slippery, right? So I sprained my ankle. Yeah, so my one of the trainers and one of my teachers actually okay, you are injured, you can't walk, so we took let's take a shortcut.
Okay.
Yeah. So while everyone was walking back, we take shortcuts. But then again, for us, it felt like a few minutes lah, shortcut mah, right? But when I came back, when we came back to
the whole group.
Yeah, the whole group, they already done with their, what's it called again? Supper. They already were washing up to go sleep. So then one of my friends was asking me lah, you say shortcut, why you take almost 1 hour plus? So you just move.
Wait, this thing happens within the camp area or outside the campsite area?
I think they went out to do the night walk.
Outside the camp area.
Yeah.
That means outside the camp gate or inside the camp.
Basically, it's in the forest. It's where the trees are. It's where they did the night walk. Then when they had the debrief whatnot after the night walk, right? Even then, it was outside. It was in the nature. It was not in the campsite where the huts or whatever not inside. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was outside. Yeah. Then when we came back, we had to go back in mah. So basically, when we were taking the shortcut, we were going through trees and whatnot lah. We were literally taking shortcut into the trees and stuff. Yeah.
And that is the suggestion of the trainer.
I think they know better. I don't know, I was a kid then. But yeah, it was me, my teacher, and the trainer.
So the 3 of you go into a shortcut and then get lost inside an alam bunian? Or I don't know, another dimension?
I don't know. I was
because you're missing 1+ hours.
Yeah, about 1 hour there lah. Yeah. Then my friends were asking, you say you take shortcut, why you come back so late?
Yeah. So did your trainer say anything?
No.
Your teacher say anything?
No. It was just left at that. Then I was okay lah. At that point of time, I was a kid, so what I was upset about wasn't getting lost on things. It's more of I didn't eat my supper.
Yeah, man. Which is the cake and the hot Milo, right?
Yeah, I think so back then.
It's still the same thing. I mean, they will not give any other teh tarik or prata.
Yeah lah, definitely.
It's either cake or bread and then hot Milo.
Or biscuits lah. Yeah. But at that point of time, I was a kid, so I don't know memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I remember was that I didn't get to eat my supper. Yeah.
Man, you're losing so many things.
But I mean, it's fine lah. It's just that
drinking of Milo.
Yeah. Okay lah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's scary per se, but it was more odd. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really odd though. I mean, it's you are taking shortcut. You should be reaching way before the group.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right? But then you only reach 1 hour plus when they are already going to bed.
Yeah.
And you missed out the whole
Supper.
entire supper.
Yes. It was upsetting, but oh well. To be the devil's advocate, maybe I was a kid and my memory is but I mean that is what I remember. Yeah. So.
Okay. Alright. So actually, right, if let's say we talk back about this story, okay, which I will cover. Okay, I promise I will cover another story that is almost the same as her story. Okay, that means it go missing out of nowhere. Also at the west side of Singapore. Okay, and that we will be covering in the next episode. So, what do you do? So after all this, will you still do camp?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like, there's always a scientific reason, scientific explanation to all of this.
But if let's say there's no debunkers,
life goes on. I mean, you get this experience, you're not gonna just stop one thing just because
correct. Of another. Maybe next time you'll be better, more prepared when such thing happens. Yeah, okay. All right, so that is actually the story, two short story of Zaza, our guest. And like I say, stay tuned for the next one. Okay, stay tuned for another story that I will be covering, which is almost similar like what Zaza's story. And hopefully, it come. Okay, hopefully in a very, very short future. No, near future. Yes, near future, the word. Oh my god, my English just good. And thank you for listening to Zaza. Thank you for her having, coming to ACFS to share your two short stories. And do follow us, like, subscribe, and comment if let's say you know where exactly or what exactly the backstage toilet, North East Side School, comment, or you can actually email us. All right, and I'm Mel, this is Zaza. Thank you and bye. The next story that I'm going to tell you or share with you is actually a very personal story of my own. This time around, the island is somewhere in the southern part of Singapore. Alright, so this story actually happens many years ago. I believe when I was still pretty tender age. Okay, I'm not saying I'm old, but yeah, tender age. So what happened is that this camp is actually kind of like a must for cadets that wanted to go higher in ranking. Okay, maybe like as an officer or master sergeant. So what happened is that this camp, we actually managed to get the ferry, okay, from Singapore to that particular island, but we only get it somewhere in the late afternoon because after school, then we have to go back, pack our bags and everything. So when we reach the island, it's actually almost after 5 p.m. And when we reach the island, okay, me and 4 of my friends, so there are 5 of us. I don't know, the vibe of the island actually it kind of a little bit off. So when we reached the island, we saw this sir, okay, we just call him Sir John, okay. So John was actually there to fetch us from the ferry terminal and then after that bring us to the campsite. But because this campsite is about survival, so we need to pitch a tent and everything, and we have to go in deep into the forested area. So during first night, right, everything seems to be okay. Because we have not hiked in deep into the forested area. So what happened is that me and one of the cadet, very close to me, let's call her Astrid, okay? So me and Astrid was actually, we are buddy. So we hiked into the forest and Astrid was like saying, hey, look, Mel, it kind of like, quite tired and the weather don't seems to be on our side. It's very cloudy. The sky is very red. So I was like, okay, maybe we pitch a tent here. So when we are pitching the tent, Astrid was telling me like, is it me or are we actually like being watched? And I was like telling Astrid, was like, well, it's quite common, I guess, if let's say like we felt like we are being watched because it's a survival camp, right? So we never know whether or not there is ma'ams around or sir around to like, keep an eye on us, because no matter we are cadets, so we don't know whether are they like, keeping an eye on us, making sure that we are okay and stuff like that. But Astrid somehow or other just feel very uneasy throughout the whole day one night. So while we've pitched the tent finish and all, okay, and we was about to, call it a night to rest, Astrid suddenly tell me that, hey Mel, I know it's an island, we are near the sea, but don't you think that in this island is a little bit too cold for a comfort? So at first I thought of like, brushing it off, don't want to think so many things, right? And it's been tiring after school, go to camp and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, but it's a good weather to sleep, I guess. So Astrid was like, okay, well then let's go and sleep. But somehow or other, in the middle of the night, I was actually woken up by a crying. So I thought at first I thought Astrid cried because she's very close bonded with the family. So maybe, first time camp off the Singapore island, and like, totally away from home. I thought that she's the one who cried. So when I woke up, I can't find my body anywhere. Okay, I can't find my body anywhere. Astrid was nowhere to be found. But because it's a survival camp, so one, we don't have handphone. So at that point of time, right, handphone is not an in thing. We only like, okay, we just have to go through the 3 days, 2 nights camp, and then after that, get up from there. So be without my buddy, right, I cannot go on deeper into the forested area. So I'm like looking around for her in the middle of the night. All I'm using is a torch. But the only thing that I found near the tent, our tent area, is actually her one side of her shoe, and it's like so. I'm like so flabbergasted. It's like, why only one side of the shoe? Where's the other side? Where is she? So I was like, okay, the camp has to go on because I really want that rank. So I was like, okay, never mind. So to me, with a foolish thinking, I was like, okay, with or without my buddy, I will go on. I guess that's one thing that I regretted for many years to come. So I just pack up and I move on along to the trail where we are supposed to go. So when I was going in deeper, okay, and it's a survival, right? So there is no food or whatsoever not. So what we are supposed to do is just like find berries or whatsoever just to survive. We only have matchstick. We only have like 3 pieces of bread, white bread, with us in a sealed bag, and that's how we are going to survive the whole thing. Okay, and of course my heavy bag of whatever equipment, whatever not that I have in my backpack. So when I go further in, as time goes by, okay, when I'm pitching the tent by myself without my buddy, I was actually having difficulty in pitching up the tent, because our tent at that point of time is not like now, 8-man tent, 6-man tent. It's more like a basha kind of tent. So to do it single is possible, but as a cadet at that age, it's pretty impossible. So what I did is like, just nice, there is another two of my cadet, the other cadet, right? There are 5 of us. So there is another 2 more, and suddenly that the other 2 more was like, walk past, and I was like, hey Mel, do you need help? I said, yes please. Then I said, oh, you guys need help? Then I said, yes please, I need help to build the basha. Then after that she said, okay, no problem. So the other 2 actually helped me out. Then after finish helping, the 2 of them was like, take care, you two. At first, I didn't think so much.
when I was about to retire for the night, it kind of ring back. What do they mean by take care you too when I'm alone there? So at that point of time, I'm like, okay, I don't want to think so much. I just want to survive this whole camp. It's day 2 night, and the next day is like done deal, pack up and then go down to base camp, and like that's it. And at that point of time at night, suddenly my buddy Astrid came back to the tent and say, Mel, I've been looking for you. I was like, oh my god, where did you go? And I said, why are you going off with only one side of your shoe? But Astrid was like saying, no, I'm wearing both sides of shoe. What do you mean by only one side? So I was like, but babe, I have the other side of your shoe. I took out from my backpack and I showed her, and she was like saying, I don't think that's my shoe. I was like, oh, okay. So I just like don't want to think so much, I'm already like a bit like weird, the whole thing is so weird. I was like, oh, okay, I just put the shoe aside. And then after that I said, okay, Ashrid, anyway, today day 2, I'm glad that you come back, and okay, good night. So I just fall asleep. At night, that day 2 night, I'm having so much difficulty in falling asleep because I keep hearing Astrid singing a song, humming a song, and I'm like, what? Why are you humming in the middle of the forested area? So I was like asking like, hey, Astrid, it's late. Stop humming. This is not a place for you to hum your song. And Astrid was like, just totally ignore and continue humming. But because the song that she's humming, right, is so soothing, I actually fell asleep gradually. So in the morning when I woke up, and strike down the basha and everything and start packing up, I was like looking, so now where did my body go again? Why is she not here again? So I thought of like, okay, maybe she need to go, release herself, because it's a survival camp. So you just got to release the proper way, like, dig a hole, put, and everything, So I was like, okay lah, maybe she's releasing herself. Then not long later, my ma'am, my sir, all was like calling me out. I can hear from far people actually calling, Mel, where are you? Your location? Mel, can you make sound? Mel, just make sound. So I was like, okay lah, since they asked me to make sound, right? I have my basha pole, okay, the wooden pole. So I take that wooden pole, I take my mastin, I just knock so that there is that sound, like kang, 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 kang. And then they follow. And the first thing my ma'am do is actually hug me. And she asked me, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. And the question that she asked me is, why didn't you do an incident report? I was like, what incident report? And then after that, my ma'am was like, okay, never mind, let's pack up and let's go back to base camp. I was like, okay. So I already packed it up. So before I move off, I said, ma'am, I need to wait for my buddy. Astrid is not here yet. I think she go and release herself. And my ma'am was like, okay. Then she suddenly talked to John, okay. John, maybe you want to bring Mel to base camp? I wait for her buddy. I was like, okay. Then I just follow myself, follow John. Then when I go to the base camp, that's where I saw Astrid parents, and there are a lot of other people from the HQ side. And I was like a big question mark, because once I reached the base camp, the ma'am, okay, let's just call her Siti. My ma'am Siti was right behind me only. So she actually did not wait anything. The minute I left, she also walked behind me. It's just that a little bit of distance. So when I reached the base camp and I asked Ma'am Siti, I said, Ma'am, where is Astrid? I thought you are waiting for her. And that's where I got to find out that they found Astrid's body on the day 2 in the morning at about 6-7 plus a.m. in one of the forested area. She only had one side of her shoe, but her chest area was being cut open. And I was like, wait, what? And even the other 2 cadets that helped me while pitching the basha, right, was like, how could that be? I saw Mel and Astrid pitching the basha and they're having so much difficulty. And that's where I was like, no, I was actually pitching myself. So who is the person who actually so-called helping me pitching out that basha for the second night? And who is the person that actually in the basha with me on the day 2 night humming the song? Till today, it's still a big question mark of what exactly happened to Astrid, and there is no explanation. So to me, moral of the story is maybe that's the reason why you need to move with your body. And the only regret that I have is I did not sound out the minute I know that Astrid on the day 1 night, she's not in the bed. So yeah, that is one story that till today, in fact, it kind of haunt me sometimes. It's like a question mark. And the only thing that I know is after that one incident, that whole camp, that going to the island for a camp, survival camp, they put a stop. And then they just do it on the Singapore mainland. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy this last story. And same thing, okay, do follow, do subscribe, and like. Okay, so if let's say you have any story, or maybe you heard about any story, be it on Singapore island, the main island, or maybe all the other islands, small islands surround Singapore, okay, write us an email and share it with us. Okay, if you are comfortable, come in as a guest, okay, and we can do the storytelling together. All right, and I'm Mel. Thank you for watching ACFS. Bye.